They say curiosity killed the cat, but that's not quite right. Curiosity doesn't kill. You do that to yourself when you go looking for things best left alone. When you push past the warning signs, ignore the uneasy feeling in your gut, and convince yourself that knowing the truth is worth whatever it costs. My name is Daniel Grayson. I make a living digging up things other people want buried. Missing people, fraudulent deals, corporate betrayals, you name it, I've stuck my nose in it. I'm not some former cop with a tortured past or an ex-fed who got sick of the red tape. No, I started in this business the way most people do. A bad decision and an overdue rent check. My first case was helping some guy find out if his wife was cheating. Turns out, she was, and so was he. They both paid me to keep my mouth shut, and I realized there was good money in people's dirty secrets. That was 10 years ago. Since then, I've made a career out of following trails no one else wants to. I work alone, I don't take jobs that feel like setups, and I never ask more questions than I need to. It's a simple formula that's kept me breathing. But simple doesn't mean easy. So when a job lands on my desk that comes with an anonymous client and a fat envelope of cash, I should know better. I should trust my instincts. Instead, I do what I always do. I take the job. The file arrives in a brown manila envelope, slipped under the door of my one-room office in downtown Raleigh. No name, no return address, just my name scrawled across the front in jagged handwriting. Inside, I find a stack of grainy surveillance photos, a flash drive, and a single typed note. Project Knox. Find out what they're hiding. That's it. No contact number, no further instructions. Just a name that means nothing to me and a challenge that's impossible to resist. I thumb through the photos. Most of them show a fenced-off facility in the middle of nowhere, all concrete walls and security cameras. A few images capture men in black tactical gear escorting handcuffed prisoners through a side entrance. One of the prisoners, a gaunt-looking woman with hollow eyes, is caught mid-step, her face twisted in fear. The last photo is different. It's a close-up of a man's face, blurry but familiar. It takes me a second to recognize why. He looks like me. Not exactly, but close. The same sharp jawline, the same tired eyes, like a version of me who's been through hell and didn't make it out clean. A chill runs through me, but I shake it off. Coincidences happen. I plug in the flash drive expecting more photos or maybe a set of coordinates. Instead, it contains a single video file labeled "Watch This." I hesitate. Everything about this job feels wrong, but I press play anyway. The video is grainy security footage, timestamped 3 weeks ago. The setting is a sterile white hallway, the kind you see in hospitals or government buildings. A man in a gray jumpsuit stumbles into view, hands clutching his head. He looks disoriented, like he's trying to remember something important. Then he turns toward the camera, and my stomach drops. It's me. Not just someone who looks like me, it's me. Same face, same scar on my right eyebrow, same black leather jacket. He stares into the lens like he knows he's being watched. Then he says something, but there's no audio. His mouth moves, forming 3 distinct words. I don't need sound to understand them. Get out now. The screen glitches. Static floods the image. And then the file corrupts, vanishing from the drive like it was never there. I sit back, heart hammering. Someone is screwing with me. They have to be. But the weight in my gut tells me this isn't some elaborate joke. This is real. I close my laptop and reach for the envelope again, feeling along the inside. There's one last thing tucked into the corner. A key card. It's blank, unmarked, but I know exactly what it's for. Whoever hired me doesn't just want me to investigate. They want me to go inside. I should walk away. Call the number on the fake detective license I keep for emergencies, tell my client the case is a dead end, and go back to my usual gigs. But I don't, because the man in that video looked terrified. Because the woman in the photo had eyes that haunted me. Because I've spent my entire life asking the wrong questions, and this time, I need to know the answer. That's how I find myself driving into the middle of nowhere at 2 a.m, an unregistered Glock in my glove compartment, and a burner phone with no contacts except one unknown number. The client. They haven't called, haven't texted, haven't given me anything more to go on. But they know I'll follow the trail anyway. The facility, Project Knox, sits on the outskirts of a defunct military base, surrounded by a 10-foot fence topped with razor wire. There are no signs, no identifying markers, just a heavy steel gate with a keypad lock. I pull over 100 yards away, kill the engine, and watch from the shadows. Security is tight. Guards patrol the perimeter in pairs, that dressed in military-grade gear with rifles slung over their shoulders. They move in perfect sync, not like rent-a-cops, but like professionals, government-trained. That means they'll have protocols, response teams, fail-safes. I'll have one shot at this. I grab the keycard from my pocket and weigh my options. I could stake the place out, try to learn their shift rotations, maybe sneak in through a service tunnel or a weak spot in the fencing. But if the card works, and I have a feeling it will, I might not need to. I step out of the car, keeping low. The night air is thick with humidity, the kind that makes your clothes stick to your skin. My pulse is steady, my breathing even. I've done riskier jobs before, but none of them have ever felt this wrong. I reach the gate and swipe the card. A soft beep. The lock clicks open. No alarms, no flashing lights, just an open door inviting me inside. I hesitate. Every instinct I have tells me I should turn around, that this is a trap, that I'm stepping into something I can't walk away from. And then I remember the video, the fear in my own eyes. Get out now. I step through the gate and walk straight into hell. The air inside the facility is colder than it should be. Not just cool, sterile, like a morgue. The moment I step past the security gate, the silence swallows me whole. No humming lights, no distant footsteps, just the dull thump of my own heartbeat. The hallway ahead is a stretch of white tile and fluorescent lights, leading deeper into the unknown. I glance back at the gate, still unlocked, still open. A small part of me considers walking away, but I don't. I'm in now. I need to know why. The keycard still rests in my palm, slick with sweat. I tighten my grip and move forward, keeping close to the wall. I don't know how much time I have before someone notices me, but my gut tells me I'm on borrowed minutes. As I creep through the first corridor, I start noticing things that don't add up. No security cameras, at least none that I can see. No guards, no personnel moving from room to room. A place this locked down should be swarming with people. Instead, it feels abandoned. Except it isn't. I find the first door on my left cracked open. Inside, a single fluorescent bulb flickers overhead, casting shadows along the walls. I step in, careful, silent. The room is bare except for a metal table in the center. Strapped to it is a man, or what's left of him. His skin is translucent, veins pulsing dark blue beneath the surface. His eyes are open, too wide, too glassy, but he doesn't see me. His lips are moving, but there's no sound. I take a step closer, and then I see the worst part. His mouth isn't forming words. He's mimicking me. Every movement I make, every subtle twitch, his body is mirroring it, like a reflection with a second's delay. I take a slow step back, he does the same. I exhale, so does he. Then his eyes lock onto mine, and for the first time, his lips move on their own. Run. I don't think. I move. I bolt back into the hall, slamming the door shut behind me. My breath is coming too fast, too shallow. What the hell was that? I need to keep going. Whatever this place is, I've only scratched the surface. The facility isn't just a single level. As I push deeper inside, I find an elevator at the end of the next corridor. A black panel sits beside it, waiting for a keycard scan. I don't hesitate. I swipe the card. The doors slide open without a sound. The panel inside only has one button. B1. Basement level. I step inside. The doors seal shut, and for a moment, I'm weightless as the elevator descends. When it opens, I realize I've made a mistake. The air down here is thick with something foul, something rotten. The hallway ahead is different from the pristine corridors above. The walls are lined with thick, reinforced glass, like prison cells. Inside them, things shift in the dim light. Some of them look human. Some of them used to be. I force myself forward. Whatever this project is, Project Nox, it has nothing to do with standard government ops. This isn't research, it's containment. One of the figures in the cells slams against the glass. A woman, her face half melted, her hands clawing against the surface. She screams, but the sound is muffled. It's like watching a nightmare from behind a screen. I push on, swallowing the bile in my throat. I need to find something, anything that tells me what's going on here. I find it in the next room. A lab, cold and sterile. Computers hum softly, displaying unreadable code. Metal shelves hold dozens of sealed vials, filled with black ink-like liquid. A terminal flickers to life as I approach. I don't know what I'm expecting, but when I see the screen, my stomach turns to stone. Project Nox active subject list. The names are listed one by one, each with a status beside them. Terminated. Escaped subject. In containment. In containment. Daniel Grayson active. My name. My blood goes cold. I stare at the screen, unblinking. There's no way. This is some kind of mistake. Except it isn't. The file expands, revealing a picture. It's me. Not the version of me from the surveillance video. This is newer. Taken from a high angle. I recognize the setting. It's now. It's this exact moment. The photo is being taken right now. I whip around, heart hammering, searching the room for a camera. For someone watching, but there's nothing. No lens. No device. Just the cold air pressing against me, whispering the truth I don't want to accept. I was never here to investigate. I was here because they let me in. Because I never left. A scraping sound cuts through the silence. I freeze. It's coming from the hallway. Something is moving. Something is coming. I back away, reaching for my gun. My hands are shaking. The scraping grows louder, metal dragging against metal. I catch movement just outside the lab, a shadow shifting unnaturally in the dim light. Then I see it. A figure steps into view. At first, I think it's human. It looks human. But then it moves and I realize something's wrong. Its limbs bend the wrong way. Its eyes are too deep, too hollow, and it's wearing my face. Not a version of me. Not a look-alike. It's me. And it's smiling. You shouldn't have come here, Daniel, it says, voice dripping with something inhuman. I raise my gun. My fingers squeeze the trigger, but it moves faster than anything should. The next second, it's in front of me, inches away. The next second, it reaches for my throat. The next second, everything goes black. Darkness. It's the first thing I register. A void stretching in every direction, pressing against me like a second skin. My lungs burn. My head throbs. For a terrifying moment, I wonder if I'm dead, if whatever that thing was finally snuffed me out. But then I hear the sound. A rhythmic beep. Beep, beep. Faint at first, then sharper, cutting through the black like a needle. A machine monitoring something. No, not something. Me. I try to move. My arms don't respond, neither do my legs. Panic swells inside me. I'm strapped down. A slow hiss of air rushes into my nose. My eyes flutter open. Bright white light burns down from above, sterile and suffocating. I know where I am before my mind even catches up. I never escaped. I'm back in the facility. I try to speak, but my throat is raw. They drugged me. The last thing I remember, that thing wearing my face, reaching for me. I must have blacked out before it finished whatever it was doing. A door slides open. Footsteps approach, calm and deliberate. Then a voice, familiar and clinical. Dr. Mercer. You were never supposed to get this far, Daniel. I turn my head, muscles screaming in protest. Mercer stands over me, hands folded behind his back. His lab coat is pristine, as if none of this is out of the ordinary. His expression is one of mild disappointment, like a teacher correcting a stubborn student. I force the words out, my voice dry and cracked. What did you do to me? Mercer exhales. Not an answer, more like a waste of breath. You wouldn't understand. Not yet. He moves to a nearby terminal, Shay tapping something into the console. The screen flickers to life, displaying lines of code. Then I see it. My name. Thousands of times, scrolling endlessly down the screen. Grayson Daniel, active. Grayson Daniel, offline. Grayson Daniel, terminated. Grayson Daniel, reset. Over and over. My name, but not just one of me. Many. Mercer watches me absorb it, his head tilting slightly. How much do you remember? My breath is coming too fast now. My fingers twitch against the restraints. I focus, pushing through the fog in my mind. Flashes. Not memories, loops. This isn't the first time I've been here. It isn't the first time I've fought to uncover the truth. Mercer sees the realization in my eyes and smiles. You were our first success, Daniel. The first consciousness we fractured and replicated. We had to test the limits of the human mind, to see if memory could persist through iterations. And you, well, you were a fascinating anomaly. He gestures toward the screen. You kept breaking the cycle. No matter how many times we reset you, erased your memories, you always found your way back here. Fascinating. I can barely breathe. How many times? I whisper. Mercer sighs. Hundreds. The word slams into me like a freight train. I lurch against the restraints, muscles straining. You're lying. He doesn't argue. He just tilts the monitor toward me. And that's when I see it. The videos. Hundreds of files, each labeled with a date, a number, each containing a version of me. I watch one at random. The screen flickers, and suddenly I'm staring at myself. A different me. Same face, same body, but the eyes are different, hollow. A man who's been through something I haven't yet. He's strapped to the same table, breathing hard, pleading, "I know what I am. I know. Please, just let me go. I won't fight anymore." A voice responds, "Mercers, reset the cycle." The Daniel on the screen screams. The footage cuts out. Another video starts automatically. Another me, sitting in a cell. This one looks defeated. He's whispering something to himself, over and over. I strain to hear it. I was never hired to investigate the conspiracy. I am the conspiracy. I am the conspiracy. I am. The footage cuts. My stomach turns to ice. I was never a private investigator. I was never hired to uncover the truth. The truth is me. My mind fractures, pieces clicking together in ways they were never meant to. Every case I thought I took, every piece of information I thought I uncovered, it was all part of the loop. Mercer folds his arms. "I assume you understand now?" I shake my head. No. No, I don't. I refuse to. Why? My voice cracks. Why keep doing this to me? He leans in slightly, like he's sharing a secret. Because we have to see how long you last before breaking. Each iteration of you learns a little more, fights a little harder, but you always end up here, in this chair, asking the same questions, reacting the same way. His eyes glint. And then we start over. A single tear slips down my temple. I'm not real. I was. A long time ago. The real Daniel Grayson died, and what remained of him, what remained of me, became this endless loop. I inhale sharply. My body is shaking, not from fear, not from pain, from rage. "You won't reset me again," I whisper. Mercer actually laughs. "And what will you do? You're restrained, Daniel. You don't have a choice." He's right, I shouldn't have a choice, except I always break the cycle. My fingers twitch against the restraints, finding the thin ridge of metal where the cuffs are locked. I feel it. A tiny imperfection like a loose latch. Maybe it's carelessness, maybe it's deliberate. Either way, it's my way out. I breathe slow, calm, controlled. I meet Mercer's gaze. Then let's see if this time is different. Before he can react, I twist my wrist, popping the latch. The cuff snaps open. My arm flies free. Mercer's eyes widen. I lunge. Everything happens fast. My fist slams into Mercer's face, knocking him back. Alarms erupt across the facility. Red lights flash. I rip off the other restraint and stumble to my feet. My legs nearly buckle. A door on the far wall hisses open. Guards, armed, coming straight for me. I don't think. I run. Down the hallway, past the cells, past the copies of me screaming my name. "Daniel, don't let them take you. You're almost free." Free. I slam through a security door, racing up a stairwell. Footsteps thunder behind me. I don't stop. I can't stop. And then, an exit. The final door. Beyond it, darkness. The real world. I don't hesitate. I throw myself through it, and the world resets. Somewhere, a new Daniel Grayson wakes up, and the loop begins again. And that's the terrifying truth. Daniel was never hired to uncover the conspiracy, because he was the conspiracy all along. An endless loop, a prisoner in his own mind, doomed to repeat the nightmare forever. But now, I have a question for you. What if this isn't just fiction? What if somewhere, right now, someone is waking up believing they're free, when in reality, they're just another version of themselves trapped in a cycle? If you enjoyed this chilling story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another terrifying tale. And let me know in the comments, what would you do if you realized your entire life was just a loop? Stay alert, stay aware, and as always, keep watching the shadows.